Welcome to Modern Work Mentor. If this is the first time that you've been here, then welcome. And to those of you who have subscribed to my channel for years and years, I've got a question for you, or maybe a few questions. I want to talk about next year. I've made some changes this year. I went to independent consulting and I started to change my content up a bit. I was able to, put out more regular content, which was great, but I'm really interested to know what you think about the direction for my channel. So, as I went into independent consulting, I had this vision for wanting to simplify the way that we learn about working with Microsoft 365 tools. So working on, an analogy, a fresh approach with using workouts as a way of telling the story. And I've got plans for that. I've got plans for that in terms of my channel, but I wanted to just, test 4 things with you about how and what I plan to do. So come over with me to the board. I've been doing this a bit more recently. I've been trying to get analog with how I do things because I'm hoping that it'll give me a bit more time before AI tries to recreate what I do. All right, so future of this channel. 4 things. I want to talk to you about preparing for change, raising the fitness of work and how we work, about guests and what sort of role that they might take on my channel, and also talking about tech, which is what I still like to do. So first of all, preparing for change. I'm still going to do that. Many of you have been following my content for years. Like how I tell you about what's coming and what's changing. I'm one of the many voices you might listen to and giving opinions about what's coming into this space. So I'm still going to be watching things like Microsoft Ignite from afar, or where I get to actually attend some of these things. I'll try and share my opinions about tech and announcements and news in this modern workspace and what Microsoft is doing in that space. And I think it's still important to, be fair and offer some analysis and also just ask that question, what are you doing sometimes? Because I think we all wonder that. So I'll still be preparing you for change, right? And that is not going to change. One thing that the second item maybe feels a little different is how I've changed up a bit of some of the content that I do. I am trying to address those of us who are new to using Microsoft 365 and those of us who might be a bit further along the journey and we might need to brush up on our habits. So I'm using this format of a workout, a modern work workout. And the idea being that I think that learning these skills using tech and using software, preparing us for work is much like preparing us for fitness. We need to work on some of these base level skills to try and improve how we're working efficiently, trying not to get so tired, maybe, keeping creative and our energy levels up, building muscle memory. So I think there are a lot of cool analogies in there, which I'm having fun with as I create that content. And, some of you who are watching this, I know that, okay, I'm not going to watch that video, I'm not interested. Give it a watch. Maybe there is something in there, even in the simple stuff, that might remind you of some of the things and maybe good form in the way that you do work with Microsoft 365 technologies. For those who you might work with, they might be interested as well. So perhaps you could, as an ask, please pass on some of these videos as you might find them useful. You might also pass them on to people that you work with. Along with that, because I am independent and I'm trying to earn a living out of some of these things, I'm going to still have my content free and available on YouTube, but I do want to make it available as something that you might buy and put into a learning management system, or just drop it into your team. And the idea being that in New Zealand here we call it dirt cheap. It's it doesn't cost much to buy this. Grab the video, grab the quick reference guide, and just share that within your organization. I don't care about how many people you want to share that with, just go ahead. So yeah, that's an option now too that you might see popping up on videos. So that workout format, does it work for you? I'm having fun with it, and hopefully it's a fresh new analogy. I get to go outside and work with tech, which is great. All right, raising fitness for work. I want to have guests on this channel more often. I had some fun with Jeremy Chapman earlier, and we did some unboxing. We looked at some new tech and sort of stepped through it and gave our first opinions and tried things out. But that's one format. Another format that I'm working on is thinking about interviewing some of you to share what are three things that I always seem to have problems with numbering and fingers. Three things that you could share that are useful to you, tips, tricks, but something that might go in some kind of progression, like how I start my day. I always do these three things that always get me off to a good start with task management, with communication, whatever you want to share. And so the idea being, bring you on as a guest, talk to you about that, maybe almost talk about it like a workout. Here are three things that I do. The first one we're going to work on. Here's the way that I do it, and here's some things to look out for that you might, make some mistakes. And we go through, we talk about it, and there's the show. Now, I think that might be interesting. I think we all like to hear different ways and scenarios of how people are using tech. So that's how I'd like to cover that. And the last thing, of course, I still want to talk about tech. I still like tech. I still like playing with things, devices, working with things like this and saying, oh, well, is that going to help me with my workflow? Software that I might try out, different applications that are not in the Microsoft sphere, like Miro interactive whiteboards. Love them. Getting interactive with them and immersive with them and that sort of stuff. So I am going to cover other tech and other things. Does that still interest you? Does that still keep you hanging in there and thinking, yeah, I'll stay subscribed? Now, YouTube's a bit funny these days. The algorithm side of things, it isn't necessarily showing you all of my content. It's going to look at what you're interested in based on the story that it sees as you click through things that you do watch, and it thinks, no, that video is not for you. I'm not going to show that content from Daryl's channel. A lot of us who create this content, we say, oh, subscribe and click the bell and change it to all so you get notifications. In truth, most of my statistics show that people find my content because it's new to them. It just pops up, it's suggested on their home feed, and we all, just swipe through or look at what's in our home feed and say, oh yeah, that's interesting, I'll follow and watch it that way. So yeah, it's a bit funny these days, but I would like to keep being creative. I don't want to just narrow down and just focus on one or two things and tell that kind of story around that thing. That'd be boring for me, and it might be boring for you too. I want to still have some kind of community and variety around what I create, and also it's important for me to support the work that I do so that I can find some nice overlap and continue to create. Look, there's plenty of room for sponsorship if there are sponsors out there that feel like they can align with my channel and we can work something out. But yeah, I want to keep bringing creative content to you. I still want to prepare you for change and pass some opinions and thoughts about what has arrived, raising that fitness, that workout theme of how to train and to learn new skills and to develop fitness and muscle memory. Bringing guests on and keep talking about tech. So that is what I plan to do for 2025. Is that interesting to you? Look, just share your comments in the thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what you think. That's the future of the channel. Hopefully you'll stick around. Hopefully you'll bring some friends and let me know what kind of content you'd like to cover. So cheers and have a great next year or this year, whenever you're watching it. See ya.